Right then, it is Dave Allen versus Filip Hrgovic fight week. What is going to happen here? Dave Allen should have absolutely no business winning this fight. He got outboxed by Arslan bloody Midov. He shouldn't be beating Filip Hrgovic, but there's always a what if with him. There just always is, and that's why people are always interested in watching him fight. That's why, there's a good demand around him, even when people think he's going to lose, which I think everyone does for this. But there's always a what if with him. What if he can do this? What if he can take this damage? What if, his pressure could be too much? I don't know. Look, Dave Allen can't box Filip Hrgovic. He can't outbox Filip Hrgovic at all. He couldn't outbox Arslan Bekmambetov. How are you going to outbox Filip Hrgovic? World level guy, top level amateur pedigree. His only loss is to the world heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois. Dave Allen's tough, durable, entertaining, but he's very limited. He's British level, let's be honest here, and he's David Adelaide level. And, people might think, oh, what if Dave Allen can do what David Adelaide did? But David Adelaide is way more explosive than what Dave Allen is. And, again, I think if you look at it from Hrgovic, why are you fighting David Adelaide and Dave Allen at this point in your career anyway? Like, what are you gaining out of these kind of fights that, you should be easily winning? And the fact is, I think that David Adelaide performance from Hrgovic just dropped his stock massively. If Hrgovic doesn't knock out Dave Allen here, there's problems. But you always think, oh, is there a warning factor whenever Dave Allen fights? Like, can he do something? Can he shock everyone? Doncaster Rovers Stadium, this is that. This is a huge night for him, biggest night of his career. Can Dave Allen bloody do something here? As much as he shouldn't win, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. People want him to bloody perform it. And again, he's got no business winning it, but he needs to perform. This is the biggest fight of his life. So he needs to do something, and hopefully, he can. I hope he does, because, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. Possibly that bloody likes to fire up his arse, hopefully. But who knows? It's looking like he's getting into his best shape that he's been in his career, or in a long time anyway, in his career probably. But yeah, look, he shouldn't win. He couldn't get past the jab of Medvedev. How are you getting past the jab of Filip Hrgovic? How? And his hope is knocking Filip Hrgovic out. It's not going to happen. Look at the chin that Hrgovic has got on him. But again, no, it's like, if Dave Allen has a burst, then I reckon the hope that Dave Allen's got here, he has a burst, backs up Filip Hrgovic. Hope someone like Howard Foster's the referee and, has an early kind of stoppage. I think that's the hope, that, he can try and do something, have an earlier stoppage on the feet. He's not going to drop Hrgovic. And let's be real, he's going to have a real hard time getting past that jab. But who knows with Dave Allen? I think, again, Dave Allen's ridiculously tough as well. And Filip Hrgovic needs to knock him out. Because, look, Filip Hrgovic, he's got all the advantages. He's the harder hitter. He's the, let's be real, people might say, oh yeah, he don't hit too hard. Yeah, well, I mean, at the very top level. But compared to the level Dave Allen's at, he should be getting him out of there. But he can outbox him. But the reality is, Hrgovic needs to knock him out, because if he wants to be taken seriously by the top dogs, then you need to knock him out here. There's no going the distance. There's no going all 10 rounds. You've got to knock him out. And for all we know, the fact that, hopefully Hrgovic knows he needs to knock him out, and I think Dave Allen needs to hope that, because if Hrgovic does try and knock Dave Allen out and doesn't stick to the boxing, and Filip Hrgovic gets over-eager, then that is something which I think really helps play into a Dave Allen game plan. I really do think that. And that's the hope from him. He needs to hope that Hrgovic comes in as reckless as possible and really does want to chase the knockout. Because, again, he stayed patient, boxed against Adelaide, had him in trouble, dropped him, but, he still couldn't get a British level fighter out of there. a guy we should have blown out of there inside 5 rounds. That's what he should be doing to Dave Allen here. But I wouldn't put my money on it. I'd put my money on a Hrgovic decision win. I would not put my money on Filip Hrgovic getting Dave Allen out of there, even though he should. But and I feel like he should know that he has to. He has to get Dave Allen out of there. You know, obviously, yes, he can cruise to a unanimous decision if he wants to, but he needs to knock him out. If you want to be taken seriously right now, you can't be going the distance with Dave Allen and David Adelaide both in a row. You can't be going, 20 rounds with these two. You need to be getting them out of there. And if Dave Allen can force Hrgovic into a fight and make Hrgovic eager for a knockout, which he needs, then something could play into a factor for Dave Allen stoppage. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm saying that's what he needs to hope. That's how he needs to hope that this fight goes. And that's Dave Allen's hope in hell that he's got. But again, look, Hrgovic doesn't look invincible though. He's hittable. I don't think he's got the best defense, so you never know. If Dave Allen can back him up, it's not going to happen. He's got to, Dave Allen's not going to be able to figure out the lead hand of Filip Hrgovic. But let's be real, Hrgovic is beatable. Is he beatable for Dave Allen? No, I mean, look, bloody David Adelaide had him in trouble. David Adelaide had him in trouble. And that was embarrassing for Hrgovic in itself, because you can't be getting rocked by that level when, he's apparently a top 5 heavyweight. I don't think he is. He's top 10, not top 5. I mean, if he wants to prove he's top 5, then you need to be knocking Dave Allen out in 3 rounds, but he's not going to. Even if Hrgovic tried, he's not knocking Allen out in 3 rounds. He needs to stop him, but honestly, I'd say it goes the distance. But I just feel like there's always a chance for Dave Allen. I mean, he's good at making you believe. He's good at making you believe because it's a homecoming, it's a stadium fight, huge underdog story, a big career, a big late career opportunity. There. I get why people think there's hope there. He's not gonna win. He's not gonna win. But there's always a hope with him. There's always something that you can think, could he do it here? He always gets you talking about him, and that's the good thing about Dave Allen. But yeah, he shouldn't win. He shouldn't win. But I feel like with someone like Filip Hrgovic, I don't think he's at the level many people think he is. But again, he should be miles above Dave Allen, yes. But he's not at the level that he's not a top 5 heavyweight. Put it that way. He's not a top 5 heavyweight. But it's a huge win for Dave Allen if he wins.